RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. Boom. What's up? My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. What's up? We meet here every Friday evening from this time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in the vicinity. I'm a little closer to the 8:30 mark tonight, so that's good. And Friday night, Eastern, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And right here at the Tarabuster YouTube channel, and also on APS Radio News being simulcast. If you can support APS Radio News, that would be great, because that's one of Tarabuster's sponsors, too. So, yeah, we're also on Rokfin. If you want to hang out in the chat room, I'll be hanging out at youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster, where I see the chat room filling up. All right, guys, and thank you right out of the gate, as usual, Jim. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Very nice to see you. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a show this week. I was going to... everything just went to hell this week, I have to tell you. Yesterday, the cats got sick. Francis and Ray got sick. So I had to take them to the vet. Both of them. I think... I don't know. I gave them, you think you're doing something good for them. I hope it's this. This is the culprit, I think, that I gave them a treat. Churro. What's it called? Churro? Oh, no. Here comes Junior. Oh, come on, man. Give me a break here. It's, like churro. They lick it. It's some kind of snack. They really enjoyed it. What's it called? Churro? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah, CHURU. I figured, I was like, let me get them something different and see if and they really did enjoy it, but then they threw up for 3 days and had explosive diarrhea. And then yesterday was really bad because they were throwing up both Ray and Tara and Francis, but Tara Jr.'s fine. He must have an iron stomach. And Francis is not, he's still kind of sick. He's just hanging out. He hasn't really eaten all day, so I feel bad. And, well, I just got to monitor them now. But Ray seems to be bouncing back. And, yeah, that's the way it is. You think you're doing something good, and then you have explosive diarrhea, right? That's what happens. So... yeah, it's very sad. I hate that because, they can't tell you if they're doing better. Well, Winston on the chat says, sounds like an allergy, but they both had, maybe they both have the same allergy. They both got affected the same way. I don't know. They must have something they can't tolerate. It was cheese and chicken snacks, maybe the cheese or something. Who the frig knows? But they really liked it. They couldn't get enough of it. So there you go. And then yesterday, I was going to do the show, but it was getting late, and there was no way I was going to be able to get back in time. So when I took them to the vet, it took hours. All right. So, yeah, that's what happened. Life. How was my Super Bowl? I don't really care. I don't watch sports. I really don't care. I think it's, whatever. Fine. You catch a ball. Whatever. I really don't get the whole I understand playing sports. I like playing sports. I can see that. Exercise and fun, having some fun with your friends or whatever. But I don't get the whole, let's sit here and watch people catch a ball, hit a ball, and yeah, but it's kind of weird to me. So, whatever. That's how I don't really care about the Super Bowl. So, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, it's been what, a week, right? So right before we went on air today, was it today or maybe yesterday? The whole week is now merging in my mind. And thank you, Matt, for your super chat. Yay, a Tarabuster. Thank you. Yay. Thank you for being here and making this show possible. That's for sure. I can't do it without you. I wouldn't be here, frankly. I would have just taken tonight, too, because I'm exhausted. Look at me. I look like I aged 1,000 years. But that's only because I live in this country. This is the way it is here. You know, you're always stressed out. Another shooting, another day, another mass shooting, another Republican bullshit you got to deal with. But, okay, so it'll all make sense in a minute. So, we've been talking about the nomination of Gigi Sohn to the Federal Communications Commission and the Republicans attacking her in the most, deplorable ways. But then I thought to myself, what other ways do they have? Right? They really don't have anything but deplorability. And it sure is rich watching the filth grill Gigi Sohn. So Gigi, this is the third hearing she's had to endure with these Republican clowns grilling her. They don't like her because I guess she's not going to hand the internet over to big moneyed interests. She believes in net neutrality. And so they hate that. They hate when the people have any say, I guess. And nothing is worth doing for Republicans unless some bankster can make a buck or the autocrats can concentrate power or, they destroy democracy further than they already have. This is the agenda. And it doesn't, hey, this is what they're all about. We know that. So Gigi Sohn had to endure yet another hearing. It's good that she had a hearing. At least it's moving forward. And I do believe at this point she will be confirmed because, why have another hearing? And so obviously it's on the docket. So, I mean, you never know. The weak-ass Democrats never cease to disappoint me, so you never know. I can't say knock on wood or whatever. Oh, I can say knock on wood, right? I meant to say, I can't say definitively, but I picked the wrong saying. But, all right, so Gigi Sohn had to endure the clown show yet again. And here, let me just show you. Let's just watch it for a minute. Because this is Ted Cruz questioning her.
For them.
You send tweets every year asking people to contribute. When you ask people to contribute, that's called raising money. Let me ask you, does the FCC have an obligation to defend democracy?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. I'd like to look at chart number 15. Chart number 15,
What, isn't he the most unbearable person ever? I don't even, they're so gross, Republicans. They really, and the indignation of Ted Cruz, what makes it more disgusting or, baffling to me. I'm baffled how anyone deliberately pulls the lever for this clown, for this obvious grifter. But there you go. I mean, they're an entire party of grifters. All right. Well, he's grilling Gigi Sohn. Oh, he's so faux-raged that she somehow has a political agenda. Because here in the United States of serfs and lords, if you're pro-democracy, that means you have a political agenda, right? But anyway.
tweeted, and I'm going to read. I agree that scrutiny of big tech is essential, as is scrutiny of big telecom, cable, and media. And trust me, the latter have played their own role in destroying democracy and electing autocrats, like, say, Fox News. Millions of Americans watch Fox News. You believe Fox News. As you said, this is not a retweet. This is you tweeting that Fox News plays a role in destroying democracy. You understand?
Oh, it's like the same kind of faux rage that we saw at the State of the Union when the Republicans were all like aghast that Joe Biden could ever dare say, assert that Republicans wanted to destroy Social Security. And they're all like, what? What? I never heard of such a thing. And he's equally faux raged. Hold on. We'll be right back. But here's Ted Cruz, equally faux raged, as faux raged as the Republicans were at the State of the Union when Joe Biden mentioned their penchant for destroying Social Security. That someone noticed that Fox News is a propaganda channel and that they do have a hand in destroying democracy. You know, that's just the effing truth. But let's listen to Ted Cruz get faux raged.
Millions of people don't think you're fair and impartial to regulate communication.
Let me roll it back a little, because his argument is that millions of people watch Fox News. So that makes it great. You know, that makes it okay. And that makes it terrifying, frankly. If you love democracy and you know that Fox News is a propaganda channel and that we have not just in this the current cycle, the election cycle that just passed, and the one that's coming, and the big lie, the perpetual big lie that they are still spreading, despite being in the process of a lawsuit where they're gonna lose, because we got the texts, we got the receipts from the very propagandists, from their mouth themselves, knowing that they are spreading lies, that they know that Sidney Powell is a cuckoo, and that Rudy Giuliani is a fucking cuckoo, right? And that they know that they are insane, and that there's absolutely no evidence of voter fraud or any widespread voter anything that flipped an election. They know that Joe Biden was legally elected, but they're going to make sure that he's not peacefully put into power, because, you know, that's what they are. They are an arm of the Republican Party. And now the Republican Party is just a anti-democratic death cult. It's right out in the open. It used to be the outliers in the Republican Party, where if you took conservatism to its ultimate conclusion, you get fascism. But now the entire party is filled to the brim with fascists and their enablers. If they're not outright fascists, you know, they're the ones that just want to go along to get along, and, you know, they're the enablers. They don't want to make the waves. They still vote for the fascists. They still turn a blind eye to the big lie, like people like Mitt Romney. You know, they're all, he went out, he voted for Trump's impeachment and whatnot. That big, he's so courageous, we kept hearing but you better believe he voted for him. It's the same thing with Liz Cheney and the rest of them. They vote for the agenda. They vote for, I mean, if it weren't for Liz, well, you know, I mean, I'll leave Liz Cheney out of it to a degree, but that's the one bridge she could not cross, was the outright theft of an election. But she could go right up to the edge and bring us a tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man with a fake university and a vitamin scam, and go along with his agenda every time, even though, he was writing love letters to dictators. And if he hadn't committed that one inexcusable crime of an outright coup, then everything else was A-okay, according to Liz Cheney, because she voted with him like 99% of the time. So, whatever. Anyway, Ted Cruz is worse, frankly. Of course he is, because he's part of the coup. He instigated the coup. He enabled the coup, and he continues to coup. Cuckoo. I'm going cuckoo.
You understand why millions of people don't think you're fair and impartial to regulate communications?
Fox News is not regulated by the FCC.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have.
Boom, bitch. Boom, bitch. But, hello. Let's just state the obvious. This is the problem with Republicans. You notice that they only get upset when they hear the truth. You get it? That's the problem. When the truth has such a liberal bias, and they hate the truth, they can't handle it. And this is another reason why according to all the texts that we got that were released from this Dominion lawsuit against Fox News, that the reason they went with the big lie was because the viewers, slash victims of Fox News were jumping ship and going to more fascist outright, they were going from the, that's why I called tonight's show, it's a very difficult words for me to pronounce. The it means the People's Observer in German. Völkischer Beobachter, something like that, right? And that was the first Nazi newspaper. And they got progressively worse. And then so that was sort of like a moderate Nazi newspaper. And then you got Der Stürmer. So Fox News is like the Völkischer, how do you pronounce it? The B is silent. The Völkischer Beobachter, right? The People's Observer. I'll just call it that from now on. And so then they had the more the more hardcore Nazi publications like Der Stürmer came along. So Fox News, it is comparable. They didn't want to lose the viewers to the Der Stürmers, to the American Der Stürmers. So they decided to deliberately go with the big lie, and they knew they were lying. So that's, they are part of, Gigi Sohn is 100% correct. Fox News is helping the destruction of democracy. Hello. This is why Ted Cruz is upset. And, for everything that sucks about this country, including the mass shootings and, all of the problems in this country can be traced to conservatism. Okay? Prove me wrong, please. I want to be proven wrong. I wish that we had two normal parties. First of all, I wish we had more than two parties. But given what we're dealing with, I wish we had a normal conservative party. But we don't. So prove me wrong that everything that we're suffering from in this country can be traced to the greed, the indifference, the selfishness of conservatives. Because we all know what we need to do. As far as school shootings are concerned, don't we? And everything else, well, we know what we need to do. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin. All right. Yeah, I mean, listen. What are the problems? We have a lot of problems in this country. If we really wanted to fix it, you don't fix problems in a modern society by throwing conservatism at it. Okay, you never do. So let's pick a problem. So the school shootings or any shootings. What's the solution there? Well, I don't know what part of a well-regulated militia an active shooter falls into. So, the problem is greed. The reason that there's no movement, that we're still dealing with this bullshit, with this the horror of school shootings, is because that there's money in politics, and conservatives are sucking on the NRA's blood money like the greedy ghouls that they are, and they will never do anything about it because they're selfish and they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit who dies. They don't care if as long as they're fine. You see, if they got theirs, they're fine. They never see the light unless something affects them. And even then, it's, as long as they got theirs, So, what else? What we have other, like, if I had my way for a minute, we would take money out of politics. And this would be it would help. It would be like turning on the light and watching all the roaches run for the crevices. That would be the Republicans and all the grifters who are in politics, not to help their country, not to do anything that promotes the general welfare, but to line their own pockets. It's always about that. I mean, even the train that went off the tracks, and now we have people being poisoned. All of that. Where'd that come from? The Trump administration deregulating the trains. I sound like an idiot. The trains. Railroad. I can't say the proper terminology. You know what I mean? But where is this? Hold on a second. And that's, I remember doing the story at the time about about Trump rolling back the regulations on railroads. I'm trying to find the exact thing. Hold on. I wasn't prepared to talk about it. Let me see. And I remember at the time saying that this, that this will end up bad. Okay? Because the Republican policies always come home to roost in failure. And that's what they count on, though, you see, because when they finally do crash and burn, and if they're not sitting in the White House or anything, anywhere else, when the bill is paid, they're nowhere to be found, and then they're pointing fingers, just like they did with this with the railroad. Hold on, railroad. What was it? The Trump administration. Oh God, I know I'm all over the place. I'm trying to remember, what was it? Yeah, that's what I meant. The Ohio. I couldn't think of the word. Yes, the derailment of a 150-car train carrying hazardous materials was likely more severe because the Trump administration repealed a key safety rule. On February 3rd, a Norfolk Southern Railway freight train derailed at approximately 8:55 p.m. before catching fire near the state border with Pennsylvania. While there were no injuries, the train included a number of cars containing vinyl chloride, a potentially explosive colorless gas, resulting in about 5,000 people being evacuated on the orders of the Ohio and Pennsylvania governors. Rescue workers blew holes in the railway cars, allowing them to conduct a controlled burn of the chloride, which released toxic chemicals into the air. Speaking to investigative news outlets, Steve Dittmeyer, a former top official for the Federal Railroad Administration, said that the severity of the accident was likely increased by the lack of electronically controlled pneumatic brakes. A rule was passed under President Barack Obama that made it a requirement for trains carrying hazardous flammable materials to have ECP brakes, but this was rescinded in 2017 by the Trump administration. The industry said it would cost more than $3 billion to implement. Well, now a bunch of people are going to die. That's all, right? A town is disrupted. They don't know when they can drink the water. There goes their property. You know, somebody buys a house in that community, and that's their wealth that they can pass on to their future generations or whatever. And now it'll be worth nothing because it'll be, they'll just have a bunch of poisoned wells, and there goes their property values. And what about who knows if they'll even live to see their kids grow up to pass on the home or whatever, because they'll be, they'll all have cancer and die. So, and of course, we don't have any kind of universal health care in this country, so there's that too. The industry said it would cost more than $3 billion to implement. The FRA under Obama said it would be around $500 million. So the National Transportation Safety Board, a federal agency responsible for investigating rail accidents, told The Lever, an investigative magazine, that the Ohio train that derailed was not fitted with ECP brakes. And they say, would ECP brakes have reduced the severity of this accident? Yes, Dittmeyer said, referring to the opposition from the rail industry. He added, railroads will test new features, but once they are told they have to do it, they don't want to spend, unless they are told they have to do it, they don't want to spend the money. It's the same thing with seatbelts. Right? Because the auto industry didn't want to put seatbelts in cars because they said not only was it costs money, they said that it would give the impression that that automobiles weren't safe. But everybody adjusts it, right? Because people were sick of scraping bodies off the road. But that's okay. As long as it doesn't matter, you see, as long as somebody makes a buck, your life is incidental. That's the way it is. So anyway, this is a complete aside, but it's not really. My point is Republican failures. I mean, not only the Republican failures, they always come home to roost. Republican policies always come home to roost in failure, I should say. And the problems in this country are because of conservatism. And I'm saying this, guys. This is our show, too. Somebody on the chat, prove me wrong. Am I wrong about this? Think about it. Are there any conservative policies that help people that make sense? Because all I see is liberals, normal people, progressives, just normal people, and I say normal people, you don't necessarily, what's the difference? A liberal, progressive, a normal person? Because as a human being, we human beings evolve. That's the nature of our lives. But it's also the nature of humanity. Like just as a human life starts, we start from zygote to, old person, and then back to the earth we go, right? But there's a maturation process involved. It's the same with this species. We continue to evolve. But Republicans, conservatives, those who are, I don't know why, for whatever, they lack the fundamental maturity to evolve. or they're scared. That's probably a combination of that, afraid. I was afraid too when I was little. I didn't know, growing up. That's scary. It's also, whatever, inevitable. But maybe not if you're a right-winger. Yeah, all right. Newsweek reached out to Trump and blah, blah, blah for comment, whatever. Who cares? But you see what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what it is. Republican policies always come home to roost and failure. And we could think of a million. Like, for example, 401ks, right? This country, when you retired for years and years, generations ago, our grandparents, you retired, you had some form, usually, you had some form of a pension, guaranteed wages from your working days until you died, and then we passed on to your spouse. Hold on. All right. These breaks are coming fast and furious here. But talking about Republican policies that always come home to roost and failure. So the Republicans, they wanted to, it's the reason we have a 401k system now is because that was part of their agenda to destroy socialist security. They wanted to get people into the market, and so now the majority of Americans don't have any form of pension. There's no guarantee of a secure retirement, and the first 401k generation they're retiring, and it doesn't look good. They don't have enough to retire. So what happens then? You end up leaning on government anyway. So, but that was a Republican thing, to destroy Social Security and for what, it's all about making a few people very rich. And, of course, and themselves. But they suck. What other? Anybody else have any other Republican policies? Specific Republican policies. We'll think of more as we go along. Let's keep going with Ted Cruz.
Some issues with Fox News. I also have some issues
Destroying democracy. That's not little. Let's look at number 16. Senator Sullivan asked you about that. You describe Fox News as state-sponsored propaganda. You want to talk about vitriolic rhetoric? Senator Sullivan is right. It's coming from you. These are your words. What about Fox News is state-sponsored? You talk a lot.
I love that he didn't say. What about Fox News is propaganda? What about, it's like, you're a big fat liar. Who's calling me fat, right? That's what it sounds like. What about Fox News is state? Well, to say state-sponsored, she's saying it's not really sponsored by the state, but they do go hand in hand, and with the Trump administration, of course.
About private actors, last I checked, Fox News is not part of the government. I want you to explain those two words, state-sponsored.
It's not part of the government.
Why? Because state-sponsors suggest that at the FCC, you would use government regulatory power to go after them and silence them. What did you mean by state-sponsored?
What I meant by that, and again, remember, I regretted the tone of that, was that they were very, very, very close to the Trump administration. And the two of them were sort of interacting. That's why I called it state-sponsored.
Can I ask you one final question? Yeah. Is MSNBC very, very close to the Biden administration?
I haven't the slightest idea. I don't watch it.
You don't watch MSNBC?
I do not. I don't watch CNN either. I listen to NPR, honestly. I don't.
Oh, well, there goes your both sides, Teddy. Oh. I always think, because I remember Ron Placone called Ted Cruz a melted candle once. And that's what I think of when I look at him. It's so true. He looks like a melted candle, doesn't he? But anyway, that's beside the point. Now we got the receipts. just like we always knew. Fox News, of course, it's state-sponsored propaganda. When you talk about Republicans, because Republicans they work in tandem with Fox News. There is no doubt. And it doesn't matter. Now that we know that they lie, they outright lie to protect their stock price. Because this is what Tucker Carlson was saying on his now public tweets. But they haven't stopped. Not tweets, texts. They haven't stopped promoting the big lie because Tucker Carlson, let me see, is this the one?
Say one wrong thing.
No, that's cancel culture. Just last night he was going off on whether Joe Biden was legitimately elected.
And you may be wondering what the hell is going on in our country. There are so many unanswered questions, some of them lingering. How, for example, did senile hermit Joe Biden get 15 million more votes than his former boss, rock star crowd surfer Barack Obama?
Incredible.
Results like that would seem to defy the laws of known physics and qualify instead as a miracle. Was the 2020 election a miracle?
Unbelievable.
Honestly, we don't know. We don't expect to get an answer to it tonight.
Unbelievable. See, that's how you poison the well without outright pointing fingers. So because they're in the middle of a lawsuit, so they can still stoke the big lie, even though they know they're lying. They know they're lying to their victims, and I don't know if this is gonna wake people up. Please, it's not. As those words were coming out of my mouth, I was saying to myself, "What? It's not going to wake these Republicans up because they want to be lied to. They need the confirmation the bias confirmed, let's say. All right. They're not looking for news because the news has a liberal bias and they don't want to evolve. They want to be told by the likes of this of trust fund chicken killer Tucker Carlson, who's never worked a day in his life. This is why I can't stand him and those like him, because there's no he is the epitome of born on third base thinking he hit a triple. He's the heir to the friggin' Swanson frozen food fortune. How many chickens had to die for this scumbag to sit in the halls of power and lie to people, lie to the people of this country while pretending to love this country, right? To be all about democracy and all about freedom and fries and freedom fries and flags and stars, but lying to the people who are tuning into your show, which it really does say that you hate the people who tune into your show. And this is another example of, it sucks to be right. Because I say it all the time that Republicans, you see, I don't hate you. Maybe I do. I hate you because you're stupid or whatever. But I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to lie to you. I want to shake you and wake you up. I want you to get health care. I want you to have a decent middle-class life. I want you to go on vacation, have a day off here and there, be able to be human, to have a sick day, to take care of your loved ones when they're sick, to be human. That's freedom. That's the freedom of why people died to get out of this intergenerational aristocracy, to get out of the thumb of people like Tucker Carlson, who, born on third base, thinking he hit a triple and using his power and privilege that he has never worked a day in his life to manipulate the morons who weren't as lucky as he was, just by accident of birth. That's how vile he is. And if you know anything about history, this is another thing. You know, why they are. It's we need to take the warnings from history and listen to them, because just like in Nazi Germany, the right wing and the aristocracy, they put Hitler in power because they thought that they could control him, because they couldn't take the risk of workers. You know, the second it was the second largest political party in Germany at the time were the communists. So they were afraid that the communists were gonna make have a workers' revolution, and the right wingers, they thought that they could find common ground with Nazis, and using the brown shirts to keep the communists in line. They thought that they were manipulating the Nazis, and really the Nazis were manipulating the aristocracy. So, but it's always conservatives in the Vichy France traitors. These were the conservatives who would do anything. They would sell their own mothers, and they did sell their own country to the Nazis if it meant that liberals wouldn't be in charge, right? That liberals would know their place. So it's always, even in Norway, same thing. You had the collaborators, but they were always the conservatives would collaborate with the Nazis because they thought that they could work with them, because they basically had the same agenda. And whether they were a little bit more moderate, they didn't really believe in all that racial bullshit, but they liked the fiscal, right? Does that sound familiar? They liked the fiscal. It's the same thing we hear now with Republicans. I don't believe in it all, but I'm a fiscal. Ugh. I'm a fiscal. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah. Anyway, it really is, so playing that Gigi Sohn clip with Ted Cruz, railing and screaming about, how dare you say that Fox News is propaganda? Well, I guess, will we have to wait? How long will we have to wait for Ted Cruz to apologize on his podcast? Right, because they all have podcasts, right? That's all Republicans do. They have podcasts. They troll. They have podcasts, and then they're on committees, and they have very indignant questioning of whoever comes in front of those committees, and that's their audition to get on Fox News that night. So they circle jerk around until, I don't know, what they get some lobbying gig while democracy goes down the toilet, because they don't care about democracy. They never did. Obviously, I was going to say, if Hitler came here, they would collaborate. It doesn't. What am I talking about? He's here. They got a Hitler. They got their very own Hitler, and they are collaborating. They don't care. Whether it's him, whether it's Trump, the tax cheating, draft dodging con man with the fake university and the vitamin scam, who Liz Cheney voted for twice, and so did Adam Kinzinger. As you know that. How do they vote for that whatever that is, that thing, that orange stain? But that's what, they did. Or it's either the orange stain or it's DeSantis, right? Then they're all like, I'm all for, let's have, it's time for new blood. DeSantis is worse. They're both filth. They're both vile. They are, they're all of them, every single one of them. Nikki Haley is now, she's thrown her hat in the ring. I couldn't. I swear to God, I felt like maybe that's why the cats got sick. They saw Nikki Haley's speech. I felt like puking. It was who cares? Who cares? It was, and it was, it's Ted Cruz is talking about, do you watch MSNBC? Is that an arm of the DNC? It's, is it an arm of the DNC? They played Nikki Haley's friggin' speech coming out to announce her candidacy, her very underwhelming candidacy. Who cares? Is there anybody in this, in the 50-mile radius that's like, we need Nikki Haley? Where's Nikki Haley? Someone give us Nikki Haley. What has she ever done? What has she ever brought to the table? She's a sycophant, a lickspittle. Of course, I guess what it is, it's that she's a woman. They got a show. We got women too. Just like we got Tim Scott and Byron Donalds. We got people too. People, darker pigment people. We got people with innies and outies, but as long as they all understand their place, then that's how that's how you are accepted in the Republican Party. You can only be a female Republican if you get that the most persecuted segment of society are the rich white men. That really is how they believe. They really believe that. Even the working class dupes who watch Tucker Carlson believe that. And they're all disgusting, right? Am I wrong? Have I said something wrong at all tonight? So they're all disgusting, and the faux rage is fascinating to me. So I wonder how what's going to happen. I was going to say is that I wonder how they're going to talk their way out of this one, with Fox News outright admitting, well, it's not that they're admitting it, but the evidence is there. It's clear that they are an arm of the Republican Party. Like, for example, Rupert Murdoch told Fox CEO Suzanne Scott that Fox News would concentrate on helping any way we can in Georgia in the runoff elections. So tell me again, Ted Cruz, how outraged you are at the mere notion that Fox News is an arm of the Republican Party and that they are helping autocracy. Tell me again, because they have right here, right out of the chief pustul's mouth. A new legal filing reveals that Rupert Murdoch, well, this is from Media Matters, written by Sophie Lawton, that Rupert Murdoch, chair of Fox News parent company, pushed for Fox News to help Republicans in the 2020 Georgia runoffs in any way we can, quote unquote. The statement is one of the clearest in Fox News' history that it is the Republican Party. So, hello? It's incredible. They're not news. They shouldn't be called news. It should be in quotes, if anything. A recent released filing in the Dominion Voting Systems lawsuit against Fox News reveals that after the 2020 presidential election, the network's primetime host Tucker Carlson tried to get a Fox reporter fired for fact-checking former assholes' election lie involving Dominion. The filing, totaling 192 pages, shows the extent to which the network knew it was pushing false claims to its viewers, and suggesting that Dominion's machines were involved in a supposed voter fraud scheme. The lawyers for Dominion laid out a long list of facts and evidence that demonstrate how, from the producers to the on-air personalities to executives to Rupert Murdoch himself, literally dozens of people with editorial responsibility acted within acted with, in Dominion's view, actual malice. The filing includes an instance where Murdoch told Fox CEO Suzanne Scott on November 16th, 2020, that when Trump eventually conceded the network should, he was speculating that the scumbag, that the orange stain would concede, that the network should focus on helping the Georgia runoff. Helping how? Is that what a news network does? Yeah, I know how Republicans, they're so, they got such a fine-tuned antenna for bias. Everyone's bias, right? They were like, bias, you're bias. If I ever hear fucking that word bias again, bias. You got a liberal bias. Bias. Twitter is bias. They're silencing conservatives when it's the opposite. Everyone's silencing the conservative voice. Yeah, which, I don't know when conservatism turned into calling, everybody the N-word. That's what they think. That's conservatism now. I'm being silenced or misgendering somebody, or that's what conservatism is. That's all they have. That's another thing we'll get to. I mean, they're just so disgusting. They have nothing. So they will be, and they will be continuing to attack. Is that a proper grammar? Is that good English? Am I speaking real good English now? But they will continue to attack trans people. That's on their agenda. In fact, the orange stain himself is following suit. Like he gave a shit. Like he ever gave a shit. Like any of them cared. But this is how disgusting they are, and this is how fascist they are. The orange stain had to jump on the bash trans people bandwagon. Came out saying that if he's elected, when he's elected, that there will only be 2 genders. What the fuck? Go away. Go away, you PP obsessed sickos. There will only be, when I'm elected, when we will go back to, did I hear this? I don't know. Did I hear this? Like, what I heard. I was listening to Mike Malloy. Let me see. And he said that the orange stain wanted to bring back mass public executions. Let's see. Executions. That's one of his selling points. He's going to... Yeah, that's it. He's... Of course, Mike is 100% correct. Hold on a second. All right. This is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. If you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. To keep the show going and growing, check out APS Radio News, our sponsor, and that will help us as well as APS Radio News. So, okay, we're reading about how Fox News is a propaganda outlet. So let's see. Meanwhile, Fox continued to broadcast lies about Dominion as it nervously eyed Newsmax. In a November 16th email, Rupert Murdoch told Scott to read a Wall Street Journal piece about Newsmax, telling her that these people should be watched. If skeptically, Trump will concede eventually, and we should concentrate on Georgia, helping any way we can. We don't want to antagonize Trump further, but Giuliani... taken with a large grain of salt. Everything's at stake here. And, what else? Where is that other one? There was another article I was reading where Tucker Carlson, little chicken-killing trust fund brat, Tucker Carlson, was saying that we mentioned it, that somebody, that the person who fact-checked that brought the truth. See, this is how you get in trouble in the Republican Party. You don't get in trouble for being a fascist scumbag who hates democracy, hates America, and wants to kill everybody as long as you make a buck. You get in trouble by having a shred of integrity, decency, humanity, or showing that you actually love democracy. Right? That's when you get in trouble. That's when, like, for example, Jeff Sessions fell out of favor with Trump because he showed he did the right thing. He recused himself because he was too close to Trump and the case that he was supposedly overseeing. And that, as someone who tried to pretended for a second he had a shred of integrity, then that's when he fell out of favor with all the Trumpanzees. That's why, like, on the Supreme Court now, that none of them have any integrity. They don't recuse themselves, or they don't care about ethics. They go give speeches to political groups. They pal around with fellow fascists, plotting. What do you think they're talking about when they're getting together with all their rich benefactors and pals? You think they're talking about how to make the world safe for democracy, or how to make a more perfect union, right? What do you think? These pricks. Unbelievable. But actually believable. Let's see. During the run-up, Fox News dedicated a significant amount of time to trying to scandalize the sermons of Reverend Raphael Warnock, who would go on to be elected to the Senate. In fact, the network threw the kitchen sink at Warnock and, to a lesser extent, John Ossoff. Yeah. But, that's what the average Joe Republican moron wants to see. And it doesn't matter, see, this is what annoys me so much about Republicans and the average Joe dupe, is that it's like I say all the time. They want all the benefits of civilization, but none of the responsibilities we have to each other. They like all the benefits that liberals fight for, that liberals fight them for. They love it. They want their socialist security. They want their socialist Medicare and Medicaid. But trust me, when this country finally gets universal health care, and I hope I'm alive to see it, but that more will be revealed, they'll all be lining up for it. And then it won't be long for the Republicans to position themselves as the champion of universal health care in the country. And then, of course, you know what'll happen when I'm long gone, I'm sure. The corporate media will have amnesia about how for generations, for decades, Republicans did everything they could to ensure that people needlessly died without health care, and fought the very provisions they're now pretending to be all about, like socialist security. When Joe Biden brought it up at the State of the Union, their own plan, they all went nuts. Perjury Trader Green screaming, "Liar, liar!" Fucking bunch of they're crazy. Liar, liar! You're lying. And do they understand that we have, everything is like written down now. We have video of everything, and their words are available. They're freely available, but they understand that they're the dumbasses who, who vote for them, that they'll never bump into the truth anywhere, because wherever they go, they'll find, they either jumping from C.J. Pearson to Fox News to OAN to Newsmax to, so they're just in this bubble of fascism. They're going from the Sturmer to the People's Observer to, whatever, anything that is, that validates them not having the manners, the maturity, the decency, the humanity to evolve. That's it. They're because wherever they go, they're told, you're fine. Don't ever change. Don't ever, if something makes you uncomfortable, don't, whine about it. Say you're that's woke. Tell everybody, cry and whine. Tell everybody what to read, or who to associate with, what words to say, what books to read. And you're fine, you're here. We're all here together, all a bunch of throwbacks to times that most humans left in history's trash pile. But we're here. I guess we can call them the trash people. I don't know. I don't know. But that's what it is. It's all about don't ever change. Everything's, you're fine. It's everybody else. They're crazy. Because they're capable of functioning in a democracy. They don't get all crazy triggered when trans people want to live authentic lives, because they understand that we're living just this brief moment of time together, live and let live, right? But the Republicans are telling them to be as ugly as you want to be. Don't ever change. You'll never see or hear a right-winger in a position of authority tell their followers to evolve. They'll never bring light to a situation. They always want to bring darkness and ignorance. That's why they're banning books, telling people what to read, rolling back time. Unreal. For example, I know this is the way it is on Tarabuster, especially Friday nights. We have a short period of time, but I'll go back to the other things we were talking about. But I don't know if you saw this. For example, there was this is how disgusting they are. An Arkansas lawmaker at a hearing. Did you see this? Asks a transgender, well, let's play the clip. Why don't I don't want to read it. Instead of, what do they say? Don't tell. Show, don't tell. Isn't that something they say? Who's they? I don't know. If I can find it. Boom, bam, bam, bam. I'm going through every single video I have. Okay, here we go. All my producers are sleeping. The producer's sleeping here. I got another one over there. Ray's over there. Everybody's conked out. They had a hard couple of days.
Okay, you're recognized.
Are you telling us that you're unfamiliar with the large body of medical evidence of the harm that has come upon people that have gone through these processes?
I'm familiar with a large body of evidence that shows that providing good affirming care saves lives.
Okay, so for those who are listening audio only, and I didn't really give much context, but this is a hearing in Arkansas. Let's put it that way. A state Senate hearing about Senate Bill 199. Let me see. What was that about? Senate. Something that has to do with, it's about gender affirming care, of course, because all over the country for years and years and years, the American people would have freedom. If they wanted to get gender affirming care for themselves or a loved one or their child, the Republicans didn't stick their big government Republican noses in people's private businesses like that. But now they need a minority group to target, and trans people they fit the bill because it's all about it. It touches a lot of their weak spots, their trigger points. Pee-pees especially. They're very interested in everybody's pee-pee. What kind of pee-pee? Is the pee-pee dressed? Is the pee-pee going to the right bathroom? Right to them. Is the pee-pee whatever? I mean, it's pee-pee, pee-pee, pee-pee all day, all night, pee-pee, the pee-pees of children, the pee-pees of adults, the pee-pee. It's the pee-pee patrol. Like children, children are like that. Little babies are they're very interested in their pee-pees. But usually you grow out of it. You grow up, you mature, you find other hobbies. You're not like, okay, I got a pee-pee. You get over it after a while. Not that, not that you don't appreciate the pee-pee, but you aren't obsessed with it, You don't think of other people's pee-pees, kids' pee-pees, what they're doing. If you have to use the bathroom, you use the bathroom. You're generally not thinking about the pee-pees of the other people in the bathroom. Right? No Republican. So anyway, this is a hearing in Arkansas. That's the first mistake, I suppose. But they're all, because all the geniuses in Arkansas who know nothing, except they know something about an ancient book of fables. And their version of the sky spook from this ancient book of fables is very sick. It's like onto which they throw all of they excuse, it's not me hating you, it's the sky spook telling me to hate you. That's how sick their religion is. But okay, so this so-called state senator is interviewing a person who came to testify, and this is a doctor. This woman is a doctor, so she knows a little bit something about what she's talking about. But okay, Republicans they hate women anyway, and they hate trans women. So, they have no respect for anybody who isn't a con man who grifted himself out of into maybe if you were born with a trust fund or you came up with some scam to separate people from their money, and then you got on Twitter and called women fat pigs, then they're really impressed. But if you're a doctor, if you're someone who has credentials, they're not, they got no time for you. But anyway, so this underwhelming male, I guess that's what he is. I don't know. I haven't seen his pee-pee. I have no idea. He's, whatever. He just says that's what he is. I have no idea. Is interviewing this, a doctor. And here we go.
Are you saying that you're unaware of the large body of medical evidence of the harm that has come upon these people in these processes that have been gone through? Are you unaware of that body of evidence?
I will repeat what I just said.
Are you unaware of that body of evidence?
I will repeat what I just said.
You said that you're a trans woman.
I trans female, yes, ma'am, sir.
Do you have a penis?
Wow.
That's horrible.
You're the one that brought that into the discussion.
Can you believe that?
You're the one that...
Isn't that just like a Republican? You're the one who brought that into the discussion because she said, you get it? This is how he thinks. She said she's a trans woman. So in his very sick mind, very sick excuse for her mind, that means she brought up a penis somehow. She brought up pee-pees because that's all he thinks about, because he is a very sick, overgrown man-child, incapable of whatever. He's pretending to be a state senator. Do you have a penis? The level of disrespect is sickening. Let's play that again.
You're a trans woman.
I trans female, yes, ma'am, sir.
Do you have a penis?
Unreal.
That's horrible.
You're the one that brought that into the discussion.
You're the one. You're the one. I don't mean to yell at you. I'm sorry. You're the one? By living. You get it? You're the one who brought it up. Simply by being. You're the one. Did she say anything about a penis? But that's how fucked up Republicans are. They really are sick. And that's why I want them to get help. Universal health care, please, quick. To get them the help they desperately need. Unbelievable.
I
You're the one that
never
brought that
said
into
anything
discussion.
about genitalia.
Exactly. I never said anything about genitalia. You did, because he's sitting there thinking about, what's the pee-pee look like? Well, let me see your pee-pee. You fucking children. Oh my God, these Republicans they're sick. They're absolutely sick.
It has everything to do with genitalia.
I don't know what my rights are.
It has everything
Right now.
to do about genitalia. That's what he says. It has nothing to do. But that's how unfit they are. They're unfit. They are unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. They really are, because they're sick. They're living in a world that is demented. And they want to, because they can't evolve, they lack they're not adults. They're overgrown, emotionally stunted adolescents. And they want to, instead of evolving, they can't keep up. So they want to drag us back. So to where they're comfortable. And where they're comfortable is the Dark Ages. That's where they want to live. But that's why they're comfortable with a big daddy orange piece of shit telling them, calling women fat pigs and writing love letters to dictators. That's where they're comfortable. They like that. Because otherwise they might have to share a civilization with people that maybe challenge them a little. Whatever. Who cares? Like, if it challenges you, then fucking take take a minute and look at yourself. Why are you so triggered? Take it as an invitation to evolve. Maybe you'll be a better person. But Republicans, don't ever accuse them of trying to make themselves better. They're just trying to make the world as disgusting as they are, so they can live in it. But it's this is just like a Republican to say this vile thing to somebody, to be so absolutely disrespectful, and then when there's pushback, say, well, you did it. You're the one. You brought it up. By what? By being alive. You brought it up.
I
You're the one that
never
brought that
said
into
anything
discussion.
about genitalia.
Oh, it has everything to do with genitalia.
It has everything to do with genitalia. That's what he says. But this is what they think, because they're not capable of being adults. That's what it is. It doesn't matter how many times anybody tries to explain it to them. It doesn't matter. They'll stick to their childish view of whatever bullshit bigotry they're holding on to. It's really sad, but hey, if they if not for the fact that they have power. You know, they could sit in their own shit, but just don't give them power. They're not capable of it. They're not capable of holding leadership positions. Well, in a modern nation, you want the country to look like Pakistan, then keep on voting Republican. That's the world they're creating, a conservative dream world. Pakistan, no taxes, low to no taxes on the rich. The military eats up all the budget. No government schools. Everybody knows their place. Women know their place. Gays in the closet. No social safety net. This is Pakistan. That's Pakistan. No government schools, right? That's Pakistan. That's Republicans for you. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. I've said it before. They're not just rolling back the 20th century. They want to drag us back to the Dark Ages, where they had the rich run and own everything. Everybody else knows their place. We're out here. No government. Don't even expect government to do anything. You know, government of, by, and for the people. Pisha. Forget it. Forget about it. You know, we're going back to where the rich will give their sons cushy jobs all over the place, and you work if you find a lord to trickle some benefits on you, good on you. But if you need help, go to the church. That's where you're supposed to get. I mean, I've literally heard Republicans say that. Like Paul Ryan, I remember one of these, you know, when he was trying to privatize Social Security and coming after Medicare, as they always do. He was saying that, you know, the government there shouldn't be any social safety net. That's the role of the church, you see. And it doesn't matter how many times we remind them that we've done that before. You know, that we've lived in that world before, the world that they want to revitalize or reignite or whatever. Reanimate. And that's why the founders fought a revolution, to overthrow it. We lived in that world where when you were sick, you went to the church for help. If you could, right? Otherwise, I mean, whatever. You're on your own, Jack. But we lived in that world where the rich, education was the providence of the rich. That if you were born rich, you were more, well, this is the way it is now, here in the United States of serfs and lords, where we used to be the most upwardly mobile, now we're the least. We had the slightest income gap, now we have the widest. That was 40 years of Republican policies, Reaganomics, trickle-down, conservatism, attacking, the working class and funneling money to the top. Changing the tax code. That's why, that's why we went from the most to the least. But the Republicans, the gap between rich and poor is not wide enough. It needs to get wider. So then that's how you continue to separate people from their government. And in order to, continue to steal from them, you gotta throw them something. And listen to the response to the State of the Union. Listen to Nikki Haley's, whatever the hell that was. Listen to Trump. Listen to DeSantis. And what do they got? They got nothing except hate. Hating on trans people. That's the Republican agenda. So they want this country at each other's throats. They want, it doesn't matter how many guns you have, you're not free. You're not free. If you can't, take a day off, you can't have the freedom to get old, to be a human being. But anyway, this is what Republicans have. All they have is divisiveness, hatred, for a targeted minority group, and now that targeted minority group are trans people.
I don't know what my rights are right now.
Audience, if you want to stay in here.
I don't know what my rights are, but that question was highly inappropriate.
You do not have to answer any question. If you're through, we'll dismiss you.
Well, I'm not through with questions, but I'm not going to answer that question. That's highly inappropriate.
Again, you can say that, and that's your right. So.
Okay. I'm a healthcare professional, a doctor. Please treat me as such. Next question, please.
The fact that she has to say that, I'm a healthcare professional, I'm a doctor, please treat me as such. Well, he's a white man. He's a white man. So he trumps whatever the fuck you are. So he can do whatever he wants. He's a state senator white man. This is who they are. Isn't it beautiful? How aren't they wonderful? They're all about Jesus. Oh my God, I hate them. What is this? Wait, hold on. Oh, here. For example, here's a response. I was watching MSNBC, and then they were covering Nikki Haley's whatever the hell that was.
She said that bill was unnecessary at the time when she was the governor of South Carolina, Donald Trump using that as an attack. So we should expect to see not only likes Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, but also Mike Pence really use these culture issues here as a gateway to their presidential campaigns, Andrea.
See, he's talking about the trans bashing, and it pissed me off. It's not a culture issue. Bashing trans people is a culture issue, and you see how he reports on it. It's just normal. Yes, well, we can expect to see them use a targeted minority group to dehumanize a targeted minority group. Bring that into the campaign, because it's both sides, left, right. Who cares? It's the horse race.
Trump using that as an attack. So we should expect to see not only likes Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, but also Mike Pence really use these culture issues here as a gateway to their presidential campaigns, Andrea.
As a gateway, these culture issues as a gateway. It's not culture. This is what annoys me. It's because it's trans people, it's culture. It's the same thing that whenever, for example, Saudi Arabia, they say that the fact that women live in a goddamn Handmaid's Tale, well, that's culture. But if they did that to men, if they turned men, you couldn't drive, they put men in potato sacks and symbolically annihilated them, that would be considered, that would be considered a human rights violation. Amnesty International would be in there. The UN, there would be it would be front of mind. But it's culture when it's when it's women, and then of course we have trans women. It's a culture thing, and see the thing is it really irritated me because just to present it as simply as a culture thing and go next, on to the next story, instead of framing it for what it is, fascism, and incredibly dangerous, divisive, and it shouldn't be accepted in any way, shape, or form in this country. Well, that's the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show, guys. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. We still have more show at youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster, and we will win. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. Oh yeah, check out APS Radio News, too. That's one of our sponsors. All right, we're back. And before I keep on going, we still got more show, guys. And thank you for hanging out in the best chat room in American history. youtube.com/see4channel/Tarabuster. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you, Matt M, for your super chat. Yay, a Tarabuster. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Richard W. Another great show, Tara. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. That's only because you're here, Richard. And Elise, thank you for your super chat. And thank you, Shannon, for your super chat and your cute little emoji. You are amazing. You are. And thank you, Pookie's mommy. Hello and happy Friday, Tarabuster, and to the best chat room in American history. Exactly. It's great to see you. And I love hanging out on Friday nights with you guys. Wrapping up the week. So let me think. Where the hell? There was a few things I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Well, whatever. You know how Tarabuster goes. Let me see. Well, this is an update to George Santos. You know, there's a couple of George Santoses. Did you know that? More George Santos like Republicans are being exposed. So one is, his name is Andy Ogles, I guess. People are going through different Republican resumes. Well, Representative Andy Ogles, Republican of Tennessee, claims he's a real estate magnate. Did I say that? Magnate, not magnet. Magnate. A policy expert and a sex crime investigator. Well, we know. I'm sure he's investigated many peepees. That's what they all think they're a sex crime investigator. They think they're the pee-pee patrol. That's what they should more accurately be described as. Much of the experience on Ogles' resume is overblown or embellished. Other newly elected Republicans, notably George Santos, have also misrepresented their past. Even though, George Santos is a case unto himself. Everything about him. I just can't wait till they drag him out in handcuffs. Hurry up already. Hurry the fuck up. I mean, it's so incredible how these grifters, how do they get away with it? You know, it's like Trump. When is he? When are the chickens coming home to roost for Trump? Is it coming? I keep seeing all these underlings go to jail. What about the boss? Right? When a mob boss sends hitmen out, do they only put the hitmen in jail? I don't know. Seems to me there are different rules for Republicans. So let's see. During far-right Republican Andy Ogles' successful campaign for Congress last fall, he advertised himself as a successful entrepreneur. That's the way they all are, though. They should go into Perjury Trader Green's background. And they said, but they don't make a big deal out of it, though. But the fact that she's not a businesswoman. Her family owns a business, and she only had her name put on it when she decided to run for Congress. She never did a goddamn thing for the business, and all she did was collect a check from her family because she didn't work. And this check, she was on the family dole, and she was able to go and do CrossFit every single day, all day. That's what she did. So that's not a businesswoman. You're not a fucking businesswoman. If your family owns a business, that's it, right? I mean, it's like it's Tucker Carlson, chicken boy who pulled himself up by his bootstraps and inherited the Swanson fortune. All those chickens that had to die, Every single chicken that gave their life for a Swanson dinner, which is indignity in itself, right? Not only do you have to lose your life, then you become a Swanson dinner. But every single one of those chickens had more decency, value, more to offer humanity just by being alive than Tucker could ever hope for in 1,000 lifetimes. That's for sure. What has Tucker done except pour poison? How do you think Tucker will be remembered by posterity? What do you think? You think he's that future generations are gonna look back and be like, that was a great, that was like the greatest of all whatevers, pundits, like Edward R. Murrow, but more Nazi. No, he's gonna be remembered like Joseph Goebbels. You better believe it. It's the truth. You don't better believe it. I mean, he's not a threat. I'm just saying. You better believe it. No, it's true, though. The Republic, it's like, for example, Rush Limbaugh. Who cares about him? Is anybody thinking, oh, I really miss Rush Limbaugh? He brought so much to this world. No. The world is breathing easier. That's just the truth. When a Republican, somebody like that who did nothing but pour poison into the country, divide this country, pour racism, just exploit the fissures of disunity. That's what he did. Oh, but there's always someone else stepping into fill the gap, right? Like Tucker Carlson. But anyway, Ogles' business experience seems to be limited to owning 2 restaurants, a short-lived travel agency, and becoming licensed as an insurance agent. His real estate investments appear limited to few adjacent parcels of land. Well, at least he has some. I mean, he's not like George Santos. George Santos is completely a complete fabrication. But let's see. But he has no rental income from his properties, even though this is what he's calling himself, a real estate magnate. Just owning, a piece of land does not make you a real estate magnate. Ogles claimed he studied economics and international relations and worked at 2 right-wing think tanks that focus on economic policy, but his educational credentials and supposed policy expertise were thrown into question by Nashville's News Channel 5, which reported that Ogles had studied languages in college and not economics or international policies. Well, isn't that interesting? Because even though, why would you just tell the truth about yourself? But to say that you studied languages, it goes to show you the mindset of the typical Republican. Because studying languages isn't that that means who needs language? You're an American, right? Who needs language? You speak English barely, and that makes you the best. So if you say that you studied language, just say what the fuck you are. If you want to go study economics, go study economics. But you see that takes time, that takes energy. It's so much easier just to lie to the morons because that's all they're impressed by. They're impressed by somebody who I'm an economist. You're not an economist. Just tell them that you studied languages. I don't get these people. But, of course, why would I? Like, I don't get, roaches either. But later asked to name the committees to which he would like to be assigned, Ogles said, he said, I'm an economist. He added, I'm an economist. I worked in economics. And I worked in healthcare. It was a claim that Ogles began making on the campaign trail, beginning one answer at a Wilson County GOP debate by saying, as an economist, these fucking people, they're jokes. But of course, it's Democrats, right? Democrats. Let me see. Hold on. I got to get this clip. I need to get this clip handy. Keep it handy at all times. Because I also need a producer, a real producer that can do these clips for me. Like this one.
Just wanted to remind everybody, Democrats lie. They lie so much.
That's George Santos, for those who are listening on audio. I just want to remind everyone, Democrats lie. They lie so much. Let's see. His congressional bio said he obtained a degree from Middle Tennessee State University, where he studied policy and economics, even though he didn't. Yet the school refused to confirm Ogles' degree, citing a provision in federal law that allows students to block the release of their educational credentials. So he took the time to block the release of his educational credentials. Well, I guess there's nothing to see there. Just keep it moving. Why would you do that? You must not be very proud of your educational credentials. I guess when he studied languages, he sucked at it. So I would think that if he has to block... Wait, where is this? I would think that if he has a block, there must be something wrong, said State Senator Heidi Campbell. Let's see. A Democrat who lost to Ogles in a campaign in a district that Republicans redrew to help their own candidate. Well, ain't that like them? That's another thing that Nikki Haley said when she was, whatever she was doing, whatever that thing was called. It really got on my nerves. But what else is new? But she said that Republicans have not won the popular vote in however many years. I can't remember how. And she was like, that's got to change, and we got to blah blah, and it just goes to show you that we're under the tyranny of the minority. The popular vote in every other country that is a democracy is called the vote. Hey, what's this? Thank you, Play Dave, for your super chat. That's weird. There's something is popping up on my... I'm trying to... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting a weird message on YouTube. Just checking. Everything's working, right? Democrats lie. They lie so much. Let me see. So, let's see. News Channel 5 investigates checked that back in 2002, Ogles' website claimed he had studied foreign policy and the Constitution at Western Kentucky University, and there was no mention of economics. So it's just changing and changing. Western Kentucky says that when he was there from the fall of 1990 to the fall of 93, Ogles actually majored in English and Allied Language Arts. There you go. In response to News 5's questions, Ogles released an image of a diploma for a Bachelor of Science degree from Middle Tennessee University. But what we discovered next surprised the candidate that Ogles defeated. Oh my gosh, Campbell exclaimed. It was a resume from 2009. Resume 2 years after he graduated, where he listed a degree in international relations. Well, I mean, he can't keep up with the lies. But the fact that it's so, this is how bad they are and how much they it's a sign of sociopathy, because the news, whatever this News 5 is investigating him, and he responds, he's like bringing the receipts, right? He's like, of course I'm a legit graduate of this and got this. I got this degree in whatever the hell I'm saying I got the degree in. Here's a picture of my diploma, which you can get a fucking diploma anywhere. That's not proof. I can go on and get a diploma right now. I mean, I have a diploma, my own diploma, but you could go and get a diploma from anywhere and put your name in it. And oh, well, see, he sent us a screenshot of a diploma. Oh my God. Help us. He also said he was a nationally recognized expert. His LinkedIn resume shows that he once worked as an executive director for the Laffer Center. Oh, God. Not as an economist. That job appears to have been an administrative position. The center's website shows no economic reports authored by Ogles. He worked at it says on his website that while working at the Laffer Center, Andy became a nationally recognized expert on tax policy and healthcare, having been featured in numerous publications. But a search, including the Wall Street Journal and Investor's Business Daily. That's like George Santos being on Hannah Montana. But a search of those sites shows only 3 columns he wrote in 2 cases with another person, and when he was a lobbyist for the Conservative Americans for Prosperity, and nothing independently. All 3 were published before he went to work for the Laffer Center. So he's lying. This is a Republican. He's a sociopath, you know? We're all dumb. No one cares, especially the Republicans. You see, even if they do catch up to them, if the lies catch up to them, then who cares? Republicans don't care. They'll keep voting for them, and they'll keep whatever. They'll keep enabling these grifters. Let's see. And then he said, in another forum, Ogles claimed to be a former member of law enforcement. You see, this is the way they are. They're so basic. You know, it ticks all their boxes. I'm an economist. I'm a badass. I'm all about the law. Right? So he's let's see. Ogles claimed to be a trained police officer and an international sex crimes expert. That means he committed international sex crimes, by the way. Most likely. During one GOP debate, the candidate prefaced one answer as, well, as a former member of law enforcement, I worked in international sex crimes, specifically child sex trafficking, which means, you know what I'm saying. In another forum, he claimed, my midlife crisis, I went into law enforcement and worked in human trafficking, which is there's not one thing true in there. Well, except the midlife crisis part. Wait a minute. Junior, Tara, get the hell over. He's trying to jump over. And he's having a hard time. Sit down, damn it. Now you're sitting on the keyboard. Did you mess anything up? You can still hear me, right? What are you doing, kid? What are you doing to the show? Kiddo? What are you doing? I don't like that view of myself. It's too low angle. That's why you got to keep the angles high. High angle. You look good at any angle, Junior. But me, I don't know. Know about that. Okay. Let's see. Once again, let's see. As part of my career, I worked in human trafficking. In fact, our investigation found that Ogles was sworn in as a volunteer reserve deputy with the Wilson County's Sheriff's Office in 2009. Records show he lost that position for not meeting minimum standards and making no progress in field training and failure to attend required meetings. Well, you see, it's so much better to say you're in law enforcement and then make no any commitments to actually get the credentials. Because then you could just say you did it, and who cares if you show up and get trained. Ogles did some work in 2011 for Abolition International, a nonprofit founded by gospel artist Natalie Grant. His congressional website claims that as chief operating officer, he was responsible for overseeing operations and investments in 12 countries. I began volunteering my time. Then I ended up becoming the chief operating officer just by fluke. Because I'm so fucking awesome. I know you are. It was just one of those, I didn't really intend to set out to be so heavily involved in the fight against human trafficking. It just kind of occurred. I had a calling to traffic humans. He was probably doing the trafficking, but privately, people associated with the group dispute Ogles' characterization of his role. In fact, the group's tax returns show that Ogles, am I saying his name right, held a part-time position that paid him a grand total of $4,000. Wow. That doesn't sound like, to me, like somebody who was the chief operating officer. But I passed by the office of the chief operating officer once, and I was like, I could fucking do that. I could do that. Jesus Christ. Yes. Okay, well, but let's just get back. I'm looking at the time. Where the hell am I? We only have 13 minutes, Junior. I'm looking at the time. So George Santos we'll go back to George Santos. Republicans are liars. There's also a woman, they're finding out there's another Republican, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I pulled out some articles on her, and she is like a George Santos, another one who is embellishing, but worse. I mean, he's the worst. George Santos he set a new standard. So I guess anyone else, if you're just saying, stupid things, not if you held a position sometime somewhere, even for the shortest amount of time, it will be acceptable in comparison to George Santos. So anyway, we were talking about George Santos, how while he was during the pandemic, when there was an eviction moratorium, and in New York you could get rental assistance paid for by the taxpayers. And George Santos was squatting in his sister's apartment while his sister wasn't paying rent because she thought the eviction moratorium was a jubilee for herself. And she also took over $30,000 in rental assistance, which was supposed to be paid to the landlord, but she took it and funneled it into George Santos's campaign and other Republicans, apparently. So George and his piece of shit sister, I mean, I don't know, legally and peacefully, I'm speculating, they squatted in an apartment not too far from this apartment, I have to say. They lived in Jackson Heights, and Anyway, she's apparently they were, of course, trying to evict her grifter ass. Like George Santos was also there. If you look at his record, they found out that I thought it was twice, but now they found another one that he was in court for eviction proceedings. So that's 3 times in his 34 years that he's been taken to court for not paying rent. So he's an outright filth. He's a grifter. And anyway, Long Island Representative George Santos' sister has settled a suit seeking her eviction from an apartment in Elmhurst, Queens, over more than a year over more than a year of unpaid rent. She agreed to pay her former landlord $1,000 a month through October 2024 to cover what she owed, for a total of $19,525. According to the settlement, this would not be necessary if not for the fact that, she's a grifter. She got the money. She got it through, we the people. But she took off with it. And I have to say, just because somebody that you're given a settlement by the court that she's not, who's to say she's going to pay it? Good luck getting it out of her. So Tiffany Lee DeVolder Santos vacated the apartment in mid-January. By that time, she owed $41,000, according to the settlement, while she received more than $30,000 in emergency rental assistance through the state's COVID-era rental assistance program, defraying the cost of what she owed. She hadn't made a single payment on her rent since, guess what? March of 2020. She's living rent free, the bitch, with her grifter son, brother, or whatever he is, Katara. I have no idea what his peepee is. Who cares? While allegedly not that matters. You know what I'm saying? Who cares? Fuck him. While allegedly withholding monthly rent payments of $2,050, Tiffany, between the 2020 of March to December 2022, Tiffany Santos donated nearly $30,000 to her brother's campaign and other Republican causes, which is, funny enough, just like the same amount of money she got from the taxpayers. Her political giving, while simultaneously fighting eviction, only added to the questions surrounding her filthy brother, who has also faced eviction, and was even registered to vote at his sister's Elmhurst address. The siblings reportedly lived together at a Queens Boulevard apartment as recently as this year. Oh man, God help me if I run into these two. Yeah, the Republican representative has come under scrutiny, blah, blah, blah. She was listed as having an operational control of Rise New York PAC, a political action committee that supported her brother's campaign. I mean, this is the way it is. Until we get money out of politics, it's going to be a magnet for grifters. And, I mean, the fact that George Santos is still collecting a paycheck funded by taxpayers, $14,000 a month, says it all. That's why he's not leaving. It doesn't matter. He needs the money. We know that. And he's got no shame. And hopefully he'll be leaving in handcuffs soon enough. But, yeah. Anyway, so all Republicans, just to wrap it up for this evening, let's see, what time is it? Oh, my God. We only have friggin' 6 minutes. 6 minutes. It goes by so fast. Guys, thank you. Have you ever seen George and Tiffany in the same room at the same time? No, that's true. We have not. We have not seen that. What the hell is going on here? And I just wanted to let me see. There was a few other videos. I got so many videos tonight. Fuck, something's going on here. I hope I'm still broadcasting. Am I still broadcasting? Because I lost the page where everybody. Where is everybody? I lost. I hope YouTube is still going. Damn it. God dang it. All right, I'm just going to pretend we're still going. Something's wrong with my computer, guys. You know this. I've bought a new computer. And are we still going? Yeah. I bought a new computer, and it's coming at the end of the month. I had to break down and buy one. This computer's going. It's gone pretty quickly. So it's gonna be nice to get it finally. Well, for a little while at least, have a new computer that'll hopefully eliminate some of the problems we have with the show. It's got a better internet thingy dingy. Hopefully that'll help. Anyway, I just wanted to remind you all that Republicans hate America. They hate, they're a bunch of liars. And they also want to destroy the general welfare. And I figured here's a good montage of Tucker Carlson. I know, please forgive me. Talking about how we have to destroy Social Security. So.
Not going broke because of rich people. You could take all their money and give it to the Treasury. We'd still be in debt. We're in grave debt because the middle class is addicted to entitlements. That's where the money goes. It goes to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Why are we in debt? Because of middle class entitlements, two specifically, Medicare and Social Security. And so, you know,
this is a guy who has a trust fund, and he uses his position to go wherever the fuck anybody will let him, to tell us, to tell the American people that we got it too good, that we're a bunch of takers, right?
Anybody who stands up with a straight face and says the middle class, your tax burden is too high and you're getting screwed, that person is lying. The truth is,
everybody's lying, according to Tucker, except Tucker, even though we got Tucker lying. Literally lying to destroy America. But people are they still watch this guy. They tune in purposefully.
Stands up with a straight face and says the middle class, your tax burden is too high and you're getting screwed. That person is lying. The truth is,
so you hear him? That taxes, that if people tell you that the middle class is getting screwed, that person is lying. Even though we are the least upwardly mobile, that if we pay more, working people pay more taxes than people like Tucker, who have investments and capital gains, and, you know, so that just says it all.
Difficult to govern as a conservative because conservative economic policies mean denying people things they want. It's easy to cut welfare. I mean, come on. You know, how many people do you know on welfare? You know, reducing payments to poor people.
How many people do you know on welfare?
What are they going to do about it?
Wait, sorry. I hate him.
On welfare. You know, reducing payments to poor people, what are they going to do about it? Fiscal conservatism requires telling them they can't have it. Politicians don't like to come out against popular programs. And so they rarely do. And that's one of the reasons you see so little debate on Social Security. They are welfare programs, and they're popular, and they benefit not poor people, but the middle class. So it's very impolite to call them that, but that's exactly what they are.
If you really are worried about the growth of government and overspending, you got to kind of do something about Medicare and, to a lesser degree, Social Security.
It's unsustainable.
May he
it's
rot in
it's
hell.
Literally, and that's not one right-winger's opinion. That's a math
How dare
certainty.
you.
And so at some point, we will have to deal with it because we'll have no choice. And we'll deal with it by setting up death panels.
No, bitch. We'll deal with it by taxing your filthy, entitled ass. Like Eisenhower did.
Yes, but eliminating or paring down or even controlling the growth of middle-class entitlement programs, which are driving us to insolvency and strengthening China, that's truly what they're doing. That's apparently beyond the power of any politician.
Oh, God help us. Listen, become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Hang out Friday nights here, youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster. We will win. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. Support Tarabuster sponsors, APS Radio News. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Work it, you're worth it. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. Boom. Ba-da-da-boo. All right. Listen. Can you believe that guy? It's so infuriating. What are they going to do about it? What are the poor people going to do? You see how disgusting they are. And that's what I mean. How will future generations think about Tucker Carlson? He will be reviled as the oh, God damn it, Junior. As the son of a bitch that he is. All right. Junior's getting feisty. Stop, you crazy cat. I got a lot of crackpot cats. What's this on your back? Uh-oh. You got a cut. All right, listen up. Listen. My name is Tara Devlin. Guys, I got to get the show ready for Progressive Voices. I really want to thank you for hanging out tonight. And every time we get together, it's always great. I don't know. I can't do it without you. I really can't. If you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Remember that we have a Discord page. You can hang out there too. Send me messages, look at some pictures of cats and other things. Post your own stuff that you want people to talk about. You know, shit like that. And that's it. I will hopefully have a show during the week. Hopefully no one will surprise me by getting sick. But in the meantime, I don't even know how I'm going to shut the show down tonight. Because I lost the page. All right, listen, guys. I'm sorry, I can't even see you. So I'm just going to have to say that. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. And hopefully, I'll see you very soon. I mean, I'll be here. I just hope that you will too. I'll see you soon.